What's up guys, in today's video we're going to be removing the bleed from a drum kit and especially focusing on the boxy frequencies, which makes the drum kit sound a lot more muddy. So if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button because I upload 3 times a week content related to music production. So if you're interested in learning more about music, again, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so we've got a drum kit here which we're going to quickly play. As you can hear, there's a little bit of a muddy texture to this. It doesn't sound clean. Also, there's a guitar in the background. So what we want to try and do is eliminate as much of the background noise and bleed and muddiness as possible to achieve a lot cleaner sounding drum kit. And to achieve this, we're only going to be using a noise gate and an EQ. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the kick drum. And the first thing we notice is we can hear the snare. Now, we want to get rid of that, but we want to be able to keep the kick in. And we could go through and we could chop out every single space between the kick, but that takes too much time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our dynamics section and we're going to get something called a noise gate. Now, what a noise gate will do, it will, if you set a certain threshold of volume, once the audio gets below a certain level, it's basically going to cut out completely or to whatever you set the reduction to, which is really good for this instance because we want to get rid of the snare and we just want the kick coming through. So we're going to find when the kick stops. And there you go, I set the reduction to -35 because you don't want it to be super harsh, otherwise you lose that sort of natural feel of the kick and you definitely will notice the volume going in and out. But we've now just got the kick going through and we've eliminated the snare bleed there. And I believe in this recording I didn't use the kick out, so we're going to move on to the snare now and we're going to see what's happening with the snare. A very common thing with snare drums is you get the bleed of the hi-hat. Now we want to try and eliminate the best we can. It's very audible, so it's going to be challenging, but if we can just get rid of much as possible, it's going to make our life a lot easier. So we're going to put a noise gate on the snare. And there we go, done the exact same thing there. When it comes to the toms, there's going to be an incredible amount of bleed from the toms because they're not playing that often. So, as you can hear, the toms aren't even playing at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a noise gate on the toms. And we're just going to set it to just about here. So we still heard that. And yes, like you can still hear the drum kit bleeding through, but again we just want to eliminate as much as possible because this will eliminate any phase issues and it's going to make the whole kit sound a lot cleaner. So we're going to put a noise gate again on all 3 of them, and we're not going to put a noise gate on the overheads because we need them overheads to capture like the whole detail of the drum kit. So now we're going to go on to EQing. So we're going back to our kick drum. Now if you listen to our kick drum, we can make that sound a lot better than it is. So we're going to quickly EQ it. We want to add that punch in, which is around 100 to 200 hertz. There you go. Now, the one problem I'm having is that I can definitely hear the sound of the room, which gives it a bit of a muddy sound. We want to get rid of that. So now we need to find out where it is that like the room's resonating that really horrible muddy frequency so we can cut it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a notch filter here. We're going to boost it. And we're going to go between 300 to 500 hertz because that is where about roughly it's going to be. And once we find a frequency we don't like, we cut it out, and that's exactly what I've done there. Now the kick sounds a lot more crisp, it doesn't sound as muddy, and I'm happy with that. So we're just going to leave that for now. I'm not going to do a proper EQing. I've got another video which I'll leave in the description for EQing a drum kit if you're interested in more about the whole dynamic processing of a drum kit. But let's quickly move on to the snare drum. And it's a similar thing here. We're just going to quickly do our high pass filter, and then we're going to add a bit of punch to the snare, which is more about 200 hertz. Now I want to show you how much of a muddy sound a snare can give off just by boosting around 300 to 500. And there you go. I found and isolated the frequency which was causing problems and losing some sort of clarity in the snare, and then I've cut it out, and now the snare sounds a lot cleaner. And we'll just boost the high end a little bit more. At this point, I'm just going to quickly go onto the overheads because I feel like this is relevant to the video. So I'm going to quickly slap a channel EQ on the overheads left and right. Now, what I'm going to do for now is just isolate the left side one. So you just be hearing this out the left hand side. There's going to be a huge amount of unwanted noise here because the overheads are capturing the whole sound of the room as well as the drum kit. Now, we've already isolated certain instruments in the kick, the snare, record them separately. We've got them sounding how we want. So we don't necessarily need this low end anymore. So we're going to cut this out. And the last thing I want to look for is that horrible muddy sound in a drum kit, which makes it lose clarity. And again, we're going to use our notch filter between 300 and 500. Let's go looking for it. In there. And again, it just sounds so much clearer. Then I might do a boost in the high end just to enhance the cymbals. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm even going to go as far as to copy and paste. Like that. And just from doing this simple method, I haven't done any more sort of proper processing on it. There's a compressor slapped on, I think, the kick. That's it. But let's see what this sounds like. Firstly, I'm going to play you the new version, and then I'll play you the old version so you can see what the difference is. And now here's the kit before I made any additions. So in conclusion, the main differences you can notice there is we got a lot more of a crisp, clean sounding drum kit once we've done all the additions. I also found the muddiness had gone away from the drums a little bit. There's a lot of subtleties involved with the differences between the processed and unprocessed using this technique. Overall, the kit sounds a lot cleaner, and you'll be amazed how much easier it will be to mix this drum kit in with the rest now, knowing that you don't have them extra low mid frequencies to deal with in your whole mix. But yes, guys, this has been a video on how to remove the muddiness and boxiness in the drum kit. If you want to learn more about actually mixing drums, again, I'll leave a link below to a video where I actually go through a step-by-step tutorial on how to mix this exact drum kit in this exact song. And again, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this sort of content and you're an aspiring music producer who wants to learn more about basic production skills and any sort of related content to that at all. But thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.